Today we are doing section 3.7. This is the last section in chapter 3, and it basically just takes all the different ways that we learn to graph and combines them into one lesson. So it's sort of like a review of the previous few sections. So we're going to talk about all the different ways we learn to graph, all this, special lines, regular lines, things like that. We're going to go through a series of examples, and then you will have your homework. So this is the end of the chapter. The goal is to graph lines using various methods. Any questions so far? All right, let's jump right into examples. So first, let's review how we graph using a table. So when we are using a table, that's an XY table or an XY chart. Remember, when you're using this method, you pick the X's, you do the math to get the Y's. We always use the X's 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2. You can use 1, 2, 3 if you want. 0 is always an easy one, though. So 0, 1, 2. Take the X out, put the 0 in. Do the math. Then you take the X out, put the 1 in, do the math. Then you take the X out, put the 2 in, do the math. That will leave you with 3 ordered pairs. Graph them and connect them. Any questions on the method? All right, let's actually do it. So Y equals 2 times 0 minus 6. So you take the X out, you put the 0 in, you do the math. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 6 is negative 6. That's my first point. Same process. Now the X is a 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Minus 6 is negative 4. So 1, negative 4 is my next point. Same thing. Take the X out, put a 2 in. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 minus 6 is negative 2. That's my third ordered pair. Once you have the 3 ordered pairs in the table, remember, you pick the 0, 1, 2, do the math to get the corresponding Y's. Now you can graph these. So 0, negative 6. So side to side, 0, down 6. Put a point. 1, negative 4. So right 1, down 4. Put a point. 2, negative 2, so right 2, down 2, put a point. Once you have 3 points from your table, you can get something super straight, like the side of your ID or a note card or a ruler. Connect them, put arrows on the ends. So remember, this graph shows us all the ordered pairs that would make this equation true. So let's say you just picked a point farther down the line, like 3, 0. Plug it in, it would make it true. Okay? Any ordered pairs along this line would be solutions for this equation, y equals 2x minus 6. Graphing with the table, what are your questions? Again, this is all a review today, so none of this should feel super new or super exciting. I mean, it's all exciting, but you've seen it before. Anyone need more time with the table method? All right, next we're going to graph using slope and intercept. We also call this graphing using y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. M is always right in front of the x. What's right in front of the x in this case? Negative 1 over 2. Good. I am going to stick the negative with the 1. You could stick it with the 2 if you want, but pick 1 and put it there. Don't pick both. So I'm going to keep the rise number negative. The run number is going to be positive. And then B is what? 3. Remember, B tells you where to begin on your y-axis. M tells you where to move next. So start up 3, 1, 2, 3 on the y-axis. Then we're going to use slope, rise over run, to find our next points. If I rise a negative, that's actually going down. Run is positive, so go right. So go down 1, right 2. Put a point. Down 1, right 2. Put a point. Once again, once you have 3 points, connect them with something super straight. Arrows on the end to show that these go on and on and on forever. And once again, you could pick any ordered pair along this straight path. Plug it in for x and y. It will give you a true statement. These are all solutions for that equation. Questions? All right, next we're going to do a quick review of those special lines. These are the ones we looked at yesterday, horizontal or vertical. You can tell they're special lines because there's only one variable. It's either x equals some number or y equals some number. I always told you to find that number on that axis. So I'm going to go to 1 on the y. Then you have to decide, are you going horizontal or vertical? If you go vertical, you'll be the y-axis. If you go horizontal, you go through the y-axis. Which one do you want to be? Through the y-axis, yeah. Very good. Again, you could, just like we talked about yesterday, use a table if you don't really like the axis method. You could use a table here. The x's don't really matter. You could use the standard. All the y's are 1 though. And then you could graph those 3 points. 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. See how you're forming that horizontal line? Either method works. As long as you end up with a horizontal line through the y-axis at 1, I'm happy. Technically, you could use M and B here too. B would be 1, M would be 0. You could graph it that way. Lots of different ways to get the right answer here. Questions? All right, and last type of graph, another special line. This one, though, is going to go through the x-axis where? At the -5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could go horizontal and be right on top of the x-axis. We don't want to do that, though. We're going to go vertical through the x-axis. All right, so those are basically the 4 different ways to graph. You can use the 2 methods for special lines, horizontal and vertical. You can make a table. You can use M and B. For the rest of the examples in the notes today, I'm open to suggestions. How do you want to do this?
What you mean?
How do you want to do this problem?
Special line.
It's a special line. What's it going to look like? Horizontal through the x-axis. Horizontal would be on top of the x-axis. So we want to go vertical.
Yeah, what Nikki said.
Yes, you want to be through this axis at this number. Good. All right, that was pretty painless. Any questions?
You said painless.
Yes, that was a quick problem. Okay, any other useful comments? Anyone need more time with this one? All right, let's do the next one. Y equals x plus 1. What method would you guys like to use?
XY chart.
Okay, we'll make an XY chart. That is not the only way to do it, but again, I told you I was open to suggestions.
So it's not the way to do it. So.
You can do M and B or XY, it doesn't matter. What do I plug in for X here?
0, 1, 2.
0, 1, 2. I'm not even going to write these out. What is 0 plus 1?
1.
What is 1 plus 1? What is 2 plus 1? And then you just graph those three ordered pairs. So left and right 0, up 1, right 1, up 2, right 2, up 3. Now if you used M and B, M would be 1 over 1, B would be 1. You'll end up with the same 3 dots. Connect them, arrows on the ends. Raise your hands if you have questions on this. Shh, boys. Anyone need more time with this one? All right, let's continue on. Number 3. Does anyone want to multiply numbers by a fraction? I don't either. So let's try to not use the table method here. Anyone have any other ideas? M and B. Anytime I see a fraction in front of the x, I'm going M and B. I don't want to plug in a bunch of fractions, decimals into the calculator. M is wonderful for fractions because you already have a rise and you already have a run. B here is 4. Where do I start? 1/2 or 4?
4.
4. X-axis or Y-axis? Ugh.
Oh, why?
Y. It's the Y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a point. From that point, what am I going to do?
Go down.
Any other ideas?
Up 1,
Yeah, this is our rise, this is our run. So I'm going to go up 1, right 2. Put a point. Rise and run again. So up 1, right 2 again. Now we have 3 points. Connect them. Arrows. Done. Raise your hand if you have any questions or if you need more time. All right, here's number 4. Y equals 2x minus 3. Once again, I am open for suggestions. Anyone have any thoughts?
You do an X and Y chart.
Sure, we could do an X and Y chart. What should we plug in?
For the X, you put 0, 1, 2.
0, 1, 2. Good. So I am going to take the x out of the original equation. I'm going to put a 0 in. Then I'm going to do it with a 1. Then I'm going to do it with a 2. That'll give me 3 y values. What is 2 times 0?
0.
What's 0 minus 3? Negative 3. Good. Do it again. Y equals 2 times 1 minus 3. So yeah, 2 times 1 is 2. What's 2 minus 3? Negative 1. Very good. And 2 times 2 minus 3. What's 2 times 2? 4. What's 4 minus 3? 1. 3 points. Graph them side to side. 0 down 3. 1, 2, 3. right 1, down 1. Right 2, up 1. Connect it. Arrows on the ends. Done. Could you have done M and B? You could have, yes. You would have started at -3 on the y-axis. Your slope, your M would have been 2 over 1, so you would have rows 2, run 1, rows 2, run 1. I guess it would have been rows and ran, right? Rise and run. Whatever. Any questions? Not English related? Oh, nothing. I was using different verb tenses for rise and run. All right, number 5. Y equals -2. It's a special line. How shall I graph this special line? Go over -2 on the x-axis? No. Over on the y. I don't know what that means.
You go down.
Down. Oh, okay. That makes sense to me. So I'm going to go down to -2. Do I want to go up and down through the y, or like on top of the y, or cut across the y? Yeah, this is going to be a horizontal line through the y-axis at -2. X and Y chart? Sure. M and B would be fine too. I'm going to go with whatever I hear. X and Y chart. 0, 1, 2. So I'm going to do Y equals -2 times 0 plus 3. What's -2 times 0? What's 0 plus 3? Great. Next I will do -2 times 1 plus 3. What's -2 times 1? What's -2 plus 3? Should be +1. You have more positives than negatives. All right, and the last one, we'll have -2 times 2. That's -4.
Yep.
And what's -4 plus 3?
7.
Nope.
Look.
Signs are different. Subtract the numbers, keep the sign of the larger number.
No, you said 4 plus.
-4 plus 3.
Oh, negative.
No. -1. Good.
That's
All right, graph these. So left and right 0, up 3.
What's up, screen?
Hey. All right, right 1, up 1. Right 2, down 1. Go ahead and connect these. Arrows on the ends. Questions? Anyone need more time with this one? All right, number 7, x equals 3. What should I do?
Go to 3, right?
3 to the right, good. So 3 on the x-axis. Then what?
And you want to go vertical? Make vertical line.
Vertical line. Arrows on the ends, good. All right, you guys ready for the final example?
Yeah.
All right, number 8. There's definitely a method that I would go with. Yeah,
fraction,
anytime there's that fraction, I'm going M and B. I don't want to multiply by a third. I don't want to graph anything with a third in it. I'm just going to do M and B.
So every time it's a fraction, use M and B.
I would.
Why?
You don't have to. You'll just be graphing things like 5 1/3. Like when you plug a 1 in, you get 1/3 plus 5, 5 1/3. Does that sound like something you want to graph?
No.
Me neither. So I'm just going to go M and B. So start at the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the y-axis. From there, what do you do?
Go over 1.
No.
No, go over 3.
First, you do what?
Oh,
You have to rise first. What's my rise number?
1,
And then my run number?
3.
Great. Then what?
And then you go down 3.
Nope.
No, up 3.
Nope.
Cross 3.
Up 1.
One, right, three.
Oh,
Right 3. Yep, you're still rising 1, running 3. Any questions?
we got this.
All right, connect them. Arrows on the end. So again, today I don't care how you graph. On the test next week, I believe it gives you suggestions like, hey, make a table, use M and B, and I grade you on the table and on the M and B, and then there's a section where you get to pick. So today's the practice on picking which method you want to use and rolling with it, okay? Again, if there's a fraction, I would shy away from the table. That's just a personal preference. But really, most of these, you can go table or M and B. It's up to you. Any questions?